Hi, I'm Kristen with Collision Hub, and today we're at the headquarters of AkzoNobel in Norcross, Georgia, and we're talking a little bit about the Most Influential Women program. It's a program that's very dear and special to me, and I don't think it gets enough attention. So I wanted to kind of learn a little bit more about the history of the program and how it came to be and what Akzo's perspectives is on it. So when did the Most Influential Women program start?
Officially, date-wise, our first group of Most Influential Women awards were given in 1999. The actual, I guess, birthing of the idea started several years before that when I came into the industry I was not part of the collision repair industry. I came from industrial automation, and so came into the industry, and as part of my learning process, went around visiting a lot of shops and getting to know the people in the industry, and started making observations about who the players were, and had some interesting insights once I started making those observations. So it was sort of an idea that was, I guess you'd say, born over time.
I went up to that first class, and so that first ceremony and that first group of women and picking, I can't imagine picking a first class of influential women in this industry, because there's so many that there is out there. How'd that process go?
As you might imagine, with a first, you know, I would like to tell you that it was an eloquent process. You know, the first issue was establishing the concept within our culture that this was something that we wanted to do, and fortunately the culture was open to the concept and said, okay, go forth with it. And then next was looking for a group of individuals that coming out of the gate for a concept, as you pointed out, at that point in history, we knew would be looked at as, you know, maybe a little different, because collision repair, you tend to think more of a masculine industry as opposed to a feminine industry. So we wanted to have a representative sampling of all the different facets where the industry is involved. So we had shop owners, we had editors, we had association representatives. As many different, we wanted that first group to represent as many different facets of the industry as we possibly could. And then when we started looking, and started asking, basically, you know, we started raising the questions, okay, who should we recognize? And people slowly started to come forward and raise up names, and we just went through a selection process.
The first reception, the first award ceremony, was that at NACE?
Yes, it was, and that was during the period, you know, when NACE was still rotating around to the various cities. In fact, the first one was here. The first award ceremony was here in Atlanta.
Rhea, I know as time progressed, so you know, as I ended up at NACE, as my career got going, the MIW reception really became the ticket to have. Everybody wanted to go, and it was kind of that exclusive ticket. Do you think that kind of the way the reception and the women were presented kind of elevated the bar of the program a little bit?
What you're giving back to me was the impression that we wanted to create. Again, the idea was to work against the expected. Again, at that point in history, NACE was very, very large. The events that went on around NACE in terms of the various entertainment activities were very large. You know, cocktail parties for thousands.
Right.
So with the Most Influential Women, because of the exclusiveness of that group, we wanted to create an air of exclusivity around everything that happened in connection with that. We wanted to create the image that this was very special, this was very unique, and was limited to a very special group of people.
I think as an MIW in 2007, I was part of the class with Donna West, and I was very, I was already emotionally tied into the fact that I was going to have this honor and that I was going to bring my family, but then meeting Donna and her family, and knowing what she was going through at the time was just was an amazing, empowering, and humbling moment all at the same time for me. So. I think that's one of the things about the MIWs that sometimes it's not a flat press release that a lot of people read and go, okay, they're honoring these, 5 or 7 women. There's really these great depth of stories
exactly.
to these women, and just when you think somebody's, how does it get any better than this? Then the next person that comes up on the podium, you're like, okay, how does it get better than this? But that was a moving moment for me. In what ways can you think of that being a part of the MIW program and having the award has changed the way AkzoNobel does business or affected the business?
I go back to the objectives of the program and the concept of leadership. If there has been an impact on the business at all, which I, in my own way of looking at it, I believe that it has, but it has underscored that position or that persona that we feel is sort of our obligation to play within the industry as as one of the major. Well, AkzoNobel is the world's largest coatings manufacturer, and there's a with that responsibility, or with that position, comes responsibilities and obligations. And again, going back to the 3 points of leadership, to innovate, to take stands on issues, and to recognize other leaders, that if we can impact the industry by elevating the members of the industry and the perception of what this industry is about to the greater world, then that, what better footprint can you leave?
I think I was surprised in 2007. At the time, I was in the insurance industry, and you get a little nervous when you're going to be in a room of repairs. But walking into that, it was an immediate acceptance. It was like, okay, you're one of the team now. Thanks for here's your pin. Join the club. I felt like a pinning ceremony. It was amazing. Have you been surprised at how that's really become that long after the award ceremony and that year of recipients is over, how tightly knit the group of the MIWs has stayed?
That's been, for me personally, again, because my roots go back so far in this, has been a very gratifying thing to watch, because the effect of the program has gone deeper than even I would have imagined at the time that we first started discussing the possibility of introducing it. And one of the key components of or the intentions of the program was this whole mentoring concept. The fact if I do something for you, then you do something for someone else, and that person does something for someone else. And if you watch how this has, sort of take a few steps back and watch how this has progressed, that's been the actual sequencing of it.
Right, and just so that it's known, the MIWs gave birth to WIN, but you guys went beyond that. I mean, there's sponsors and then there's angels, and AkzoNobel kind of has that angel level that kind of keeps WIN going and pushing forward. So, as a WIN board member, thank you. that association is phenomenal. Well, Bill, I want to thank you. A lot of people ask me a lot of times what was the origin of Collision Hub, and I really point people back to November of 2007. So going to that WIN ceremony, I had the opportunity to take my father, who has Alzheimer's. It was really the last. He was in the early stages, so it was the last trip he got to make with me. He taught me to paint. He taught me everything I know. So to take him with me to that as kind of a last trip was an unforgettable moment for me. But it was a spark of it's time to do more. Mm-hmm. And so really kind of Collision Hub grew out of the MIWs. And then the support from AkzoNobel has been phenomenal. So we just appreciate all you do, and thanks for coming up with it, and thanks for supporting Win. And I look forward to the winners from this year, and hopefully a great ceremony later in 2011.
Okay, great. Thank you.